The debate over illegal immigration is settled with the American people. We want all violent criminal illegals deported from this country, and all the other illegals, you're up for grabs as well. So what we're going to see today, of course, is Senator John Kennedy shutting down Alex Padilla and all of his bleeding heart woke liberal garbage. Okay, so before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
The first Sunday of the administration, less than a week into office, NBC reported that nearly half of the 1,200 arrests made as part of immigration enforcement actions were people with no criminal record. Now, look, we all agree that we should target all violent criminals. I hope I speak for all of us when we say we should target all violent criminals, whether they're immigrants or non-immigrants. Violent criminals are violent criminals. And Senator Scott, others of my Republican colleagues who have showcased some of the victims of crime in your respective states, my heart goes out to you, to the victims, to their families. Absolutely. But here's an inconvenient truth for many, and that's the fact that immigrants, both documented and undocumented, are also critical to the success of our economy, because the percentage of immigrants, documented and undocumented, who are violent criminals is a very, very small percentage. In closing, I know that over the next several weeks, several months, there's no doubt we'll hear a lot of talking points and misinformation by Republicans trying to distract the American people from what's really happening. So to folks watching at home, I have this to say. Follow the money, because it's going to start with cutting hundreds of billions of dollars in benefits that you've paid into. And it's going to end with billionaires getting yet another tax break.
I don't know how many foreign nationals came into our country illegally under President Biden. 8 million, 10 million, 12 million. I do know that it was a lot. And using the most conservative efforts, we probably added about 4 Nebraskas to the United States. We don't have the slightest idea who they are. We know some of them are children. We don't have the slightest idea where they are. I believe it was intentional. I don't know why President Biden and his team decided to do it, but only one of two circumstances are possible. Either it was intentional, or the people in charge you wouldn't hire to manage a Costco food court. And I don't think it was the latter. I think an intentional decision was made. I don't hate President Biden. I don't hate anybody. I hope he finds peace in retirement. But the fact is, we have an extra 12 million people who are in our country illegally. Most Americans don't support illegal immigration. They think illegal immigration is illegal. Duh. It's not because they're racist. They look at the southern border like they look at the front door at their home. Most Americans lock their front door at night. They don't do that because they hate everybody on the outside. They lock their front door at night because they love the people on the inside. And they want to know who's going in and out of their home. We've got to fix the problem of illegal immigration, and we have to have money to do it. Having said all of that, we cannot sustain our spending. I understand a lot of it is for a good cause, but if we're honest with ourselves, nobody around this place ever stands up and says, I've got a bad idea and I need money for it. It's always a good cause. But this kind of spending is going to destroy America. It won't be a fiscal cliff. It won't be. One day we won't be fine and the next day falling off. That's not how this works. This kind of spending destroys you like termites. If you get termites, your house doesn't fall on a Tuesday, your house doesn't fall apart on a Wednesday, but those termites eat away and they eat away and they eat away and you know what I'm saying. I hope we do this right. I'd like to see us do it together. I don't live in La La Land. I know that's unlikely, but I'm going to try to be here as much as I can and listen to my colleagues' ideas. And I think they're smart people, and I would invite them to make their suggestions. I for one, will take them seriously.
All right, so Senator Padilla starts out by saying, hey, we can all agree that we want to deport violent, criminal, illegal aliens, okay? But the problem is we don't all agree on that. The Democrats are out there actually protesting that exact same thing. Remember how all the violent riots started in California, right? ICE had rounded up suspected murderers and sexual assaulters, all right? And they're going to deport them. But then, of course, it was tipped off as to, oh, this is going down, and bam, you have a whole bunch of peaceful protests happening, okay? So the Democrats don't even agree with us on that, and they will stand in the way of anyone being sent back to their countries of origin, or at the very least, the violent ones going to El Salvador. But then, of course, Padilla pivots and says, hey, illegal immigrants are actually responsible for the economic success of this country. So you have to follow the money. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's follow the money in all of this, because recently it was found that, hey, undocumented immigrants actually pay $100 billion in taxes. Okay, so yay, that's great. That sounds like an awful lot. But here's the problem. They actually cost $150 billion in taxes. And in this study, they actually estimate it could be as high as $400 billion. So at the very least, they're costing this country $50 billion every single year. And both of these sources, by the way, are from the house.gov. But of course, we're always fed the line that, hey, we have a whole bunch of illegal immigrants in this country because there's many jobs that Americans simply won't do. But you have to ask yourself, is that actually true? Or is it just one of these repeated lines that everyone just accepts as true? Because as we just reported earlier in the week, over here in Omaha, they had a huge raid. Right? Over 100 illegals were taken out of the meatpacking plant. And guess what happened over the next 2 days? A whole bunch of American citizens came in and started applying for those jobs. So is this really common sense? Is this really common knowledge? Or have we been gaslit into believing it after all of these years? And by the way, are there jobs Americans don't want to do? Most likely, if the wage is not high enough. However, in the cases that we do have jobs that we just simply can't fill, then yes, we do have the whole H-1B visa thing and all that stuff going on, and we can get back to temporary work visas. But as Senator Kennedy rightly points out, this whole problem where every single year it's costing us at least $50 billion, it chips away at us. It's not going to happen all at once, but it's like termites infesting your home, all right? It's going to take years and years and years, and then all of a sudden, the whole thing collapses, which of course is what we're on the brink on right now, where 25% of all of our GDP is going towards simply paying off the interest of our debt, not the debt itself, right? And as soon as that becomes over 100%, that of course is when real bad things happen. And as Senator Kennedy rightly points out, yes, the American people are done with this issue. We want the wall built. We want illegals deported. And of course, we want a secure border, right? This all makes perfect sense to you and me, but to the left, not so much. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.